Hello and welcome to another venture down the scenic route. This is the Tulsa World Scene podcast, video, coffee clutch, whatever you want, although I don't think anybody has coffee at this time of the day. But anyway, I'm here with the lovely and talented Jimmie Tramel and the lovelier and talented Grace Wood, and we're talking about things that have to do in the world of entertainment and popular culture. And at the moment, Tulsa popular culture and entertainment seems to be dominated by the Tulsa State Fair, which is happening literally over my shoulder as someone who lives in the shade of the Golden Driller.
Oh.
When they put the mask of Elon Musk on him some time ago, I had to shut my windows. I just couldn't have that looking in on me in the morning. And anyway, now people know where I live. They're going to come and egg my house. But anyway,
who would you be comfortable looking in your window in the morning? I don't know.
Well, you see, but the Golden Driller, bless his heart, has no eyes, and so he's staring off, into the distance in the future,
Okay.
Dreaming of the bright horizon. Anyway, whereas the Elon Musk mask had a Musk shaving anyway, had eyes, and they were like the ones, in the creepy little paintings that seem to move and follow you wherever you go. And so, yeah, it was I'm glad that my wife wasn't here, because she would have probably really lost it. But anyway, have we all been to the fair this year?
Yes, we have. Or I have.
You have?
Jimmie, have you gone?
James and I both went opening day to do stories on the fair's first day. He handled the food. I handled whatever I could find that looked interesting.
And I really don't need to go to the fair. I just need to go out, onto the back porch, because you hear and smell everything, because of, it's like being at the fair without having to walk. So, and if you stay out there long enough, the smell makes you sick, which is like being on the rides. And so it all works out, so, but it sounds to us, Grace, that you went there not because you had to, but because you wanted to.
Yes. My friend, it's really funny. One of my best friends in town is from New Jersey, or not New Jersey, New Hampshire. And she's surprisingly still a really big country fan. Like, she loves country music. So she really wanted to go see Russell Dickerson perform last night at the fair. And I didn't really know his music. So I was like, yeah, okay, let's go, whatever. And it ended up being, honestly, a really amazing experience. We were just kind of standing in the back by like the food trucks and stuff, not really seated, just hanging out. And one of the security people approached us and offered us VIP tickets. So we got to go be in the front row, and that was really awesome. And Russell was a really great performer. I didn't really know much of his music, but I guess he opened for Tim McGraw on his last tour, and he had a really, really great voice and was a really entertaining performer. So it was super fun to see him, and I definitely left a fan. And yeah, it was really good.
I think it's a neat setup with the Oklahoma stage right on the midway of the fair. I mean, I do enjoy that, and I bet you're going back again, Grace.
Funny enough,
Maybe we should ask. Yeah.
Tonight I am going back one more time for two reasons. One, because Genuine is performing, and I just have to see that. And two, last night when I went to the fair, I didn't come hungry enough, so I didn't really enjoy any of the fair food that I wanted to sample. So tonight I am going to go back, and I'm going to try some of that good Tulsa Fair food.
Eat your way across the midway, as we used to say.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the fair and have always enjoyed going, the food being one of the reasons. I'm sure we all have a go-to food once we get there. I have a ribeye steak sandwich every year over by it's kind of cruel because it's right there by the livestock area. So they're cooking the livestock right by the livestock, which makes the livestock sad. But it's a great sandwich, and I have one every year.
Wow.
Reminds me of a family that we knew that they bought a cow that they were going to raise, and it was going to be it was not a milk cow, it was a cow that was going to be, slaughtered. And my late wife asked the mother who she worked with, she says, what do your kids think about this? I mean, this cow is going to be kind of almost like a pet. She says, well, I think they have a good attitude about it. They named it Hamburger.
Oh my gosh.
So, they kind of knew what was coming.
Did-
Yeah, do you have a go-to fair food, Grace?
Mm,
There's
I-
not a lot of vegan stuff, I don't think, at the fair this.
no, I think tonight I definitely want to get a funnel cake just because I love those and they're so classic. And I also really want to try a fried Twinkie because I've heard they're outstanding, but I've never worked up the courage to get one. So tonight I want to do that.
I don't think I've ever worked up the courage to eat an unfried Twinkie. What did we have? It was fried Oreos, I think, last year that we tried.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
And if not for that experiment where we go try the new foods, I'm not adventuresome. I like safe. Like if I'm going to spend $7, $8 on something, I want to know I'm going to like it in advance. I'm not risky that way. But those experiments of hey, try the new stuff, we do get to try some weird things, and they're occasionally pretty good.
Sometimes they are. There wasn't a lot of new stuff this year, and in fact, one of the things they had listed as a new food was actually had been here before in, like, I think 2018, because I remember having it. It was called the Bako Gator, and it was chunks of alligator tail meat and strips of applewood smoked bacon on a stick, of course on a stick, that had been dipped in a batter and deep fried.
Oh my gosh.
It was incredibly good. I thought it was marvelous. I've
Wow.
had alligator once before, and it was like eating an alligator handbag, but this was remarkably tasty. And I thought, yeah, this is the best thing that I had tried that year. So it's on the Esplanade, which I think is the line of food stalls between the Midway and the livestock arenas. Backyard Barbecue Burgers, I think, is the stand. If you're wanting to try that tomorrow, Grace, if you're wanting to wear across. Yeah, and there was also one that I looked for and couldn't find, and probably in retrospect, probably was a good thing that I didn't find it, was deep fried Fruity Pebble cheesecake.
That's so good. I want to try that.
Well, on the Tulsa State Fair website, they do have a food finder app, so you can kind of figure out sort of where it is. Maybe I was looking in the wrong place, but I found the dill pickle fried cheese curd tacos with raspberry sauce. Yeah, that was intriguing. What else did we try? We tried the coconut shrimp and a coconut shell.
No.
Which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. But there was yeah, there were a couple of things that I just, when I just saw the listing of them, I said no. And one of them
Were
was,
either of you ever a rider of rides at the fair, or not so much on the rides?
not so much on the rides as as a callow youth, I had a couple of bad experiences,
Okay.
and so I'm not not a big fan of the rides. So how about you, Grace? You probably are a daredevil.
You know, I really used to be at the Tulsa State Fair, but then I had a really bad experience on that one ride that's like shaped like a spaceship and it like swirls around like this.
Okay.
And I just remember being so scared because it like sucks you to the side and then you can't move while you're in there. And after that, I would always go to the fair every year with my best friend Claire, because it's right in between our two birthdays. So we, after that kind of incident, we pivoted to really going to the fair just to eat food and also to go inside. And they have like the butterfly tent exhibit thing that you can go inside, and a bunch of like as seen on TV type booths, like with different products that they're selling. I don't know if they still have that, but that kind of became our jam after we stopped riding the rides.
Oh, yeah. How about you, Jimmy? Are you a ride aficionado?
No, more so when Bell's Amusement Park was part of the park, and I would do Phantasmagoria and the log ride, but I would not. Roller coasters are not for me. No, no, no. Heights are not for me. But yeah, the monster things I'll do.
I would. This probably is anyway. I always enjoyed the Sky Ride. The cable car that went across which is no more. But I remember the first, yeah, that was one of the first times we went to the fair after moving here. That was one of the things we went on, and I thought that was really kind of neat. But that's another bit of the halcyon days of youth that has passed us by.
They have a Sky Ride at the San Diego Zoo, and it was a round trip ride, and I did half of it, and I said, I'm done. You can have the second half of the ride.
Well, and I understand how you feel about heights. About, it was in 2004. I was in New York City, and in the course of my time there, I went to Carnegie Hall, and the only seat I had was in the front of the top balcony of Carnegie Hall, which is like the sixth one up. And like the upper levels of the PAC, they have little railings to hold on to as you walk down to your seat. Well, I'm sitting on the aisle seat. In front of me is the barrier to the thing, and then a million miles away is the stage. I sat for a 2.5 hour Mahler symphony holding on to the handrail while sitting down
Oh no.
the entire time, because heights, not a big fan of that. So
Yeah.
Well, but besides rides and the food and whatever else you want to do at the fair, I want to say here's another positive of the fair. There, in my opinion, there are 3 great places in the world for people watching. One is Las Vegas, 2 is a Comic-Con because of all the costumes, and 3 is the fair. With all due respect, the people watching is tremendous at the fair, and it's free after you pay to get in.
And as somebody who sees people on their I moved into this house the day before the Tulsa State Fair opened in 2012. And so we didn't know what to expect. And I remember looking out the front door at this line of people just wandering by. And the phrase that crossed my mind is, "Here goes life's rich pageant." So yeah, it's you do see all sorts of people doing all sorts of things. That's for sure.
You do. I saw last night at the show before I got moved up to VIP, and I was in the back. There's a woman standing in front of me with 2 chihuahuas on either shoulder, and she was just holding them like this as she was dancing. I have a video. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but this is her. Oh, I don't know if you can can you see its tail?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was just on her shoulder.
Looks like a scene out of Ben or Willard, but
So now 3 dog night and 2 dog night have played the fair, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
well, you do know that Chihuahuas are not dogs.
Are they rats?
They are the remnants of a failed alien invasion.
Wow.
They got
Who
left
knew?
behind. So yeah.
Okay.
And I say this as someone who has family members that have owned these creatures, and yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, and one more thing about food. We ask about go-to foods. I cannot leave the fairgrounds without having a corn dog.
Classic.
I don't need anything on it. Just give me a corn dog and okay, we're done. So
Well, if we do want to briefly mention what we have coming up in this week's Tulsa World and TulsaWorld.com,
let us briefly mention what's coming up.
I've got your segue because I've got a season 2 wrap up of Reservation Dogs Sunday. Interviewed Sterling Harjo, the co-creator, and Lane Factor, who plays Cheese. And Lane Factor said he went to the Oklahoma City Fair last week and was recognized. So that's your segue.
All right. Well, and Sterling Harjo will be also giving the TU presidential lecture October 19, I believe. And that is a free event, and he'll be talking about his career as a filmmaker, as a stand-up comic with the group, the 1491s, and of course about Reservation Dogs. I'll have a story about a new gallery that recently opened in the Pearl District called Positive Space. It is dedicated to art by women, and the first show is a very intriguing collection of works by a local artist, Ann Pollard James, called Surfacing. That's something we'll have coming this Sunday. And even though Jimmy and I are the ones approaching retirement age, Grace is the one with the story about a retirement.
Yes. This week I wrote about the retirement of Eddie Reese. He is the director of the Oxley Nature Center, and he was there for over 3 decades. So super impressive career. And we just talked about everything he accomplished during his tenure at the park, how the park has changed, and just what he's doing in retirement. He's taking on a lot more projects, and he's going to be teaching some classes. So it was really great to talk to him. And Mike Simons took some really awesome photos of him as well. So make sure to check those out in Saturday's Tulsa World.
All right, then. Well, I think that wraps up our time for this week. We thank you for putting up with us for as long as you have. And until next time, good night and have a pleasant tomorrow.
Behave.
Bye.